Pay attention to this private security footage. June 18, 2022, 1:43 a.m. Dubai Marina penthouse. The camera captures 47 seconds. Sheikh Zayden Al-Mazrouei, 62, sits at a mahogany desk staring at a computer monitor. His private investigator delivered the footage 3 hours earlier. On screen, June 12, 4:47 p.m. A silver Mercedes at a hotel valet. His fiancée, Eloane Santiago, 26, steps out. White sundress, $2 million engagement ring. The woman he paid $4 million to marry. She's not alone. Ricardo Delgado exits the driver's side. Construction worker, $800 a month. Zayden's never heard of him. Ricardo takes Eloane's hand. They walk into the lobby like they've done this 100 times. Zayden clicks the mouse. New angle. Reception desk. 4:51 p.m. Ricardo gets a key card. His hand moves to Eloane's lower back. She leans in. Click. Elevator camera. 4:53 p.m. Doors close. They stand apart for 3 seconds. Then Eloane turns. Ricardo's hands grip her waist. They kiss. Click. Hallway camera. 7:22 p.m. 2.5 hours later. Room 1847 opens. Eloane exits first. Hair messy. Barefoot. Smiling. Ricardo follows. Like she's not 7 weeks pregnant with another man's child. At 1:44 a.m., Zayden removes his glasses. Sits in silence for 19 seconds. Then picks up his phone. I need the DNA test moved up. Tomorrow. Pause. Find out everything about Ricardo Delgado. Where he works. Where he lives. His visa status. Another pause. She can't know I know. Not yet. He hangs up. The DNA test will confirm in 18 hours that the child isn't his. And Zayden Al-Mazrouei has already decided what he's going to do about it. June 22, 2022, 11:34 p.m. Master bedroom. Bedroom camera captures 6 minutes and 42 seconds. Eloane enters wearing a silk robe, hair wet from the shower. She sits at the vanity, applies lotion, hums softly, peaceful. She has no idea. 11:35 p.m. Zayden enters. Dark slacks, black shirt. He's holding papers. Eloane meets his eyes in the mirror. Smiles. You're still awake? Zayden doesn't smile back. He crosses the room. Throws the papers onto the vanity. Photographs of her and Ricardo. Hotel security footage. Holding hands. Kissing. Then he drops the DNA test results. 0% probability of paternity. Biological father, Ricardo Emmanuel Delgado. Eloane's face drains of color. She stands. Backs away. Palms out. Pleading. 11:37 and 51 seconds p.m. She runs for the door. She makes it 4 steps. Zayden catches her arm. Yanks her backward. She falls. Head hits the bed frame. She tries to crawl. His hands close around her throat. The footage shows her clawing at his hands. Legs kicking. Mouth open in a silent scream. 11:39 p.m. Her movements slow. 11:40 and 52 seconds p.m. She stops moving. 11:41 p.m. Zayden releases his grip. Stands. His face is blank. Empty. He doesn't run. Doesn't panic. He walks to the phone and dials emergency services. I've killed my fiancée. Then he sits on the edge of the bed, 3 feet from her body, and waits. When police arrive, he looks them in the eyes and says, "She stole from me. She lied about everything. She deserved what she got." This is the story of a transaction disguised as love. A 62-year-old Dubai real estate mogul worth $840 million who believed money could purchase purity, loyalty, and a male heir to carry his name. A 26-year-old Filipina model from Cebu who saw an engagement contract as her family's only escape from poverty, no matter what it required her to become. A $4 million agreement that included virginity certification, mandatory pregnancy DNA testing, and a clause explicitly stating, any fraud regarding biological paternity constitutes breach of contract, and subjects the bride to immediate financial restitution and criminal prosecution under UAE law. A secret affair that lasted 9 months with a man who earned in a year what Zayden spent on a single watch. A pregnancy that was supposed to secure Eloan's future but instead signed her death warrant. And a DNA test that confirmed what Zayden's private investigator had already discovered. The child growing inside Eloan's body belonged to Ricardo Delgado, a construction worker who thought he and Eloan could outsmart a billionaire. What investigators discovered in the days following Eloan's death revealed a carefully constructed web of deception involving forged medical records, deleted WhatsApp conversations, 23 separate hotel rendezvous, and a desperate plan between Eloan and Ricardo to claim the final $3 million payment before disappearing to the Philippines. But they underestimated Zayden Al-Mazrouei. They underestimated how thoroughly a man with unlimited resources could investigate the woman he'd paid millions to trust. And they catastrophically underestimated what would happen when that man discovered he'd been played for a fool. On June 22, 2022, at 11:40 p.m., in a $12 million penthouse overlooking the Persian Gulf, Eloan Santiago was strangled to death by the man who believed he owned her. Her unborn child, Ricardo's son, died with her. Zayden Al-Mazrouei confessed immediately. He showed police the footage himself. He handed over the DNA results. He explained, with chilling clarity, exactly why he believed murder was justified. I paid for a virgin. I paid for loyalty. I paid for a legitimate heir. She gave me none of those things. She committed fraud. Under our contract, under our culture, under God, I had the right to reclaim what was stolen. The courts would disagree. Partially. Zayden was convicted of double murder and sentenced to 25 years in prison. But because of extreme provocation statutes under UAE law, he avoided life imprisonment. Because Eloan had, legally speaking, committed contractual fraud. Because in a nation where women's testimony is worth half a man's in certain courts, Zayden's rage was deemed, at least partially, understandable. Eloan's family received nothing. The $1 million deposit was legally reclaimed as fraudulently obtained. Her mother, Carmela, buried her daughter and unborn grandson in a single white casket in Cebu. The headstone reads, Eloan Marie Santiago, 1998 to 2022. She dreamed of saving us. It cost her everything. Ricardo Delgado fled Dubai within hours of Eloan's body being discovered. He flew to Manila, then disappeared into the provinces. Philippine authorities issued a warrant for his arrest as an accessory to fraud. It was never served. He vanished. Zayden serves his sentence in a private cell at Alawar Central Jail. He receives visitors. He reads. He prays. He maintains to this day that he is the victim in this story. This is what happened. This is how a contract became a death sentence. And this is why 3 lives ended on a June night in Dubai over a lie about who fathered an unborn child. This is Eloan Marie Santiago, born April 3, 1996, in Cebu City, Philippines. 26 years old when she died. She's 5 feet 6 inches, slender build, long black hair that falls to her waist, brown eyes, high cheekbones, the kind of face that stops people mid-step. Not just pretty, arresting. The word everyone used when they talked about Eloan was the same. Stunning. She grew up in Talisi City, a coastal municipality outside Cebu. Her father, Rodrigo Santiago, drove a taxi, 14-hour shifts, 6 days a week. Her mother, Carmela, cleaned houses for wealthy Chinese Filipino families in the gated subdivisions. 3 younger siblings, 2 sisters, 1 brother. A small concrete house with a corrugated metal roof that leaked during typhoon season. No air conditioning. Shared bedrooms. Rice, dried fish, and instant noodles for most meals. Eloan was the eldest. That made her responsible. That made her the hope. She was brilliant in school. Top marks in every subject. Her teachers said she could get a scholarship to University of San Carlos. Study nursing. Become something. But when Eloan graduated high school in 2014, there was no money for university. Rodrigo's taxi broke down. Repairs cost more than 3 months' salary. Carmela got sick, pneumonia, hospital bills they'd be paying off for years. Eloan was 18. The scholarship required fees they didn't have. So instead of university, she started working. First, she sold prepaid phone loads at a sari-sari store. Then she worked as a fitting model for a local boutique. The boutique owner noticed something. Eloan didn't just wear clothes. She transformed them. Clients would buy dresses just because Eloan modeled them. By 19, she'd signed with a small Cebu modeling agency. Local fashion shows, mall events, product launches. She made 3,000 pesos per event, about $60. She sent every peso home. By 21, Eloan had an Instagram account with 340,000 followers. She posted beach photos, workout routines, motivational quotes in Bisaya and English. The comments were always the same. Ang ganda. Perfect. Marry me, please. Eloan never responded to those comments. But she read them, and she began to understand something fundamental. Her beauty had value. Real, quantifiable, economic value. In 2021, a woman from a Dubai-based agency called Lux Talent Management direct messaged her. You have the look our clients want. Interested in international work? $5,000 per month minimum, plus housing. Eloan researched the agency. It was legitimate, sort of. Models were placed with high-end clients in Dubai, Abu Dhabi, Qatar. Promotional events, private parties, companionship services for professional gentlemen. The website didn't explicitly say what that meant, but Eloan understood subtext. She called her mother. There's an opportunity in Dubai. Good money. I'd be gone for a year, maybe two. Carmela cried. Is it safe? Eloan lied. Yes, Mama. I'll be careful. On January 8, 2022, Eloan Santiago flew from Cebu to Dubai on a performer's visa sponsored by Lux Talent. Her Instagram immediately changed. Photos at Burj Khalifa, designer shopping bags, first-class lounges, infinity pools overlooking the marina. Every Sunday she called home. Her mother asked the same questions. Are you eating enough? Are you safe? When are you coming home? Eloan sent $2,000 every month. Her family stopped eating dried fish. They bought a new roof. Her siblings transferred to private school. Her father bought a second-hand car to replace the broken taxi. But what her family didn't know was how Eloan earned that money. The contract circuit. Lux Talent Management operated in a gray market that exists throughout the Gulf states but is rarely discussed publicly. Wealthy Arab men, particularly those over 50, recently divorced or seeking second or third wives, use agencies like Lux to find what they call contractual brides. Young women from the Philippines, Morocco, Tunisia, Ukraine, Russia, certain parts of South America. Women from countries where $1 million is generational wealth. The transaction is explicit. Medical virginity verification required. Pregnancy clauses. DNA paternity testing. MAR payments ranging from $500,000 to $10 million. Contracts can be temporary, 1 to 3 years, or permanent. Divorce terms pre-negotiated. Some agreements include silence clauses, NDAs, financial penalties for breach of purity. It's legal, technically. Under Islamic marriage law, temporary marriages, mata, are permitted in certain interpretations. The contracts are structured as standard MAR agreements. But everyone knows what they really are, transactions. Wealthy men buying beautiful, young, verifiably untouched brides. Eloan attended her first introduction event at the Armani Hotel on March 3, 2022. 12 women, 40 men. Champagne, though the women weren't allowed to drink. Private conversations in curtained booths. That's where she met Sheikh Zayden Al-Mazrui. He was 62, recently divorced, no male heirs, desperate for a son. He watched Eloan from across the room for 20 minutes before approaching. You're Filipina, he said in English. Yes, sir. From Cebu. Catholic. Yes, sir. Would you convert to Islam for the right marriage? Eloan had been briefed by her agency. The correct answer was, if God wills it and my husband requires it, I would consider with prayer and guidance. Zayden smiled. You're well-trained. 3 meetings. 6 weeks of negotiations between Zayden's attorneys and Lux Talent. On April 19, 2022, Eloan signed a 47-page engagement contract. Financial terms: $1 million upon signing, deposited into Eloan's account within 48 hours. $3 million upon providing a male heir. $500,000 per daughter, up to 2 daughters accepted. Monthly allowance of $25,000 during engagement and marriage. Requirements: medical virginity certification, completed March 28, 2022. Full STD panel, negative results required. Fertility assessment, confirmed viable. Psychological evaluation, deemed compliant and suitable. Mandatory DNA paternity testing for all pregnancies. Conversion to Islam within 6 months of marriage. No contact with former romantic partners. No independent travel without husband's written consent. Breach clauses: if virginity certification fraudulent, full repayment of all funds plus criminal fraud charges. If paternity fraud discovered, full repayment plus criminal fraud charges plus deportation. If infidelity proven, immediate divorce with 0 financial settlement plus potential criminal charges under UAE adultery law. Eloan signed every page. Her agency took 30% of the initial $1 million. Eloan walked away with $700,000. She wired $200,000 to her parents immediately. Built them a real house, concrete walls, tile roof, 3 bedrooms, actual plumbing. The remaining $500,000 sat in her bank account. She told herself this was temporary. 1 child, maybe 2. Get the $3 million. Then negotiate an exit, divorce, settlement, freedom. But then she made a mistake. She texted Ricardo. This is Sheikh Zayden Khalid Al-Mazrouei. Born September 11, 1960, in Dubai, United Arab Emirates. 62 years old. He's 5 feet 9 inches. Average build. Graying beard trimmed precisely. Traditional Emirati dress. Quiet. Controlled. Obsessively private. Zayden's family owned land in Dara and Bur Dubai before oil was discovered. When Dubai transformed from a fishing village into a global metropolis, the Al-Mazroueis became extraordinarily wealthy. Zayden controls Al-Mazrouei Properties LLC, commercial real estate across UAE, estimated value $3.2 billion, 40% stake in Emirates Luxury Development's personal assets. Penthouse in Dubai Marina, $12 million. Villa in Abu Dhabi, $8 million. Properties in London and Geneva Art Collection, $60 million, including 3 authenticated Rembrandt's net worth, estimated $840 million personal wealth. He's been married twice. First marriage, 1982 to 2001, arranged to a cousin. Traditional. 3 daughters. No sons. Zayden divorced her in 2001 when it became clear she couldn't conceive again. Emirati law allowed it. He paid her settlement. She remarried quietly. Second marriage, 2003 to 2021, chosen bride from a prominent Abu Dhabi family. 2 daughters. 1 son, Khalid, born 2008. Khalid died in 2012 at age 4 from acute lymphoblastic leukemia. Zayden blamed his wife's genetics. Blamed her family's bloodline. Divorced her in 2021. Brutal settlement negotiations. She got the Abu Dhabi villa. He kept everything else. By 2022, Zayden had one obsession: a male heir. He was 62. Running out of time. He'd tried Emirati wives. Twice. Both failed to give him a surviving son. This time he wanted control. He wanted youth. He wanted someone with no family power in UAE who could challenge him. Someone grateful. Someone who understood this was a transaction, not a romance. That's when his personal attorney introduced him to Lux Talent. The pitch was simple. We provide verified, documented, legally contracted brides. No ambiguity, no risk. Zayden reviewed 12 candidates. He chose Eloan based on 3 factors: medical virginity certification, hymen intact, verified by Dubai London Clinic. Age 26, peak fertility years, no prior pregnancies. Appearance, exactly his preference, Southeast Asian, petite, dark hair, submissive presentation. He paid the $1 million deposit within 24 hours of meeting her. He believed he'd purchased exactly what he wanted. A beautiful, pure, controllable vessel for his son. What he didn't know was that Aloan had a boyfriend back in Cebu, and that boyfriend was about to get a work visa to Dubai. This is Ricardo Emmanuel Delgado. Born May 22, 1994, in Talisi City, Cebu, Philippines. 28 years old. He's 5 feet 8 inches, stocky build, short black hair, tattoo of a rosary on his right forearm. Works construction. Earns $800 per month in Dubai, which is double what he made in Philippines. Ricardo and Aloan grew up 4 streets apart. Same neighborhood, same church, same high school. They started dating when he was 21 and she was 19. Ricardo worked construction in Cebu. He saved money slowly. He wanted to marry Aloan. He bought a small ring, secondhand, from a pawn shop. But before he could propose, Aloan announced she was leaving for Dubai. He begged her to stay. She said she couldn't. Her family needed her. They broke up in January 2022. Mutual, painful, necessary. Ricardo tried to move on. He couldn't. In May 2022, his cousin who worked for a Dubai contracting company called him. "We need laborers. 2-year contract. Visa, housing, airfare included. You interested?" Ricardo said yes immediately. Not for the money. For Aloan. He arrived in Dubai on May 29, 2022. He waited 3 days. Then he texted her, "I'm here. Can we meet?" Aloan should have said no. She didn't. They met at a Starbucks in Dubai Marina. The moment they saw each other, everything came back. The history, the comfort, the love. Aloan told him everything. The contract, the virginity test, the $4 million. Zayden. Ricardo was horrified. "You sold yourself?" "I saved my family." "At what cost?" Aloan didn't answer. But that night they met again. Then the next week. Then twice a week. By June, they were sleeping together in budget hotels, paying cash, deleting messages. And by mid-June, Aloan was pregnant. She had no idea whose child it was. But she knew what the DNA test would reveal. And she knew what would happen when Zayden found out. She just didn't know it would happen so soon. Aloan Santiago walks out of the Emirates Medical Center on March 28, 2022, at 2:47 p.m. with a sealed envelope in her hand. Inside is a certificate signed by Dr. Fatima Al-Rashid stating that hymenal tissue is intact. Patient presents as virginal, suitable for marriage contract verification. The examination took 11 minutes. It was invasive, humiliating. Aloan cried in the bathroom afterward for 20 minutes. But the certificate was worth $1 million. So she dried her eyes, reapplied her lipstick, and delivered the envelope to Zayden's attorney that same afternoon. 3 weeks later, on April 19, 2022, Aloan signs the engagement contract in Zayden's penthouse. His attorney, Mohammed Al-Qasimi, sits across from her with the 47-page document. He goes through every clause, every requirement, every breach penalty. Aloan nods at each one. She's wearing a modest blue dress Zayden selected for her. Her hair is pulled back. No makeup except lip gloss. He wants her to look pure, innocent, untouched. When she signs the final page, Zayden slides a black velvet box across the table. Inside is a 12-carat diamond ring set in platinum. Cartier, valued at $2.3 million USD. He places it on her finger himself. His hands are dry, careful. He doesn't smile. He just nods like she's passed an inspection. "You belong to me now," he says in Arabic. His attorney translates. "You understand this?" Aloan nods. "Yes, sir." "Good." Zayden stands. "The first payment will arrive in your account by tomorrow morning. Use it wisely. Your family's future depends on your behavior." Aloan goes back to her apartment in Dubai Marina that night and stares at the ring on her finger. It's the most beautiful thing she's ever worn. It's also the heaviest. She opens her phone. Scrolls to Ricardo's contact. She deleted his number 3 months ago when she moved to Dubai, but she memorized it. Her thumb hovers over the keyboard. She shouldn't. She knows she shouldn't. But she's 26 years old and she just sold herself to a 62-year-old man she doesn't love. She's terrified. She's alone. And Ricardo is the only person in the world who's ever made her feel like she was more than just a transaction. She types, "I miss you." She deletes it. Types again, "How are you?" Deletes it. Closes the phone. Goes to bed. But 2 weeks later, on May 4th, 2022, Ricardo texts her first. "I'm coming to Dubai. Got a work visa. Construction job. I'll be there May 29th. Eloan stares at the message for 6 minutes. Her heart is racing. She knows what this means. She knows what will happen if she responds. She types, "Okay." Then adds, "Let me know when you arrive." And just like that, the deception begins. Ricardo Delgado lands in Dubai International Airport on May 29, 2022. At 11:15 p.m. He's on a 2-year work visa sponsored by Gulf Construction Limited. His salary is $800 per month. His housing is a shared labor camp in Sonipur, 45 minutes outside the city, 8 men to a room, bunk beds, 1 bathroom, no air conditioning. It's not glamorous, but it's double what he made in Cebu. And more importantly, Eloan is here. He waits 3 days before texting her. He doesn't want to seem desperate. On June 1st, 2022, at 7:22 p.m., he messages, "I'm here. Can we meet? Just coffee. I want to see you." Eloan is sitting in Zayden's penthouse when the message comes through. Zayden is in his study reviewing contracts. She's alone in the living room, scrolling through wedding venue options he's asked her to research. The phone vibrates. She sees Ricardo's name. Her stomach drops. She shouldn't respond. She's engaged. She signed a contract. There's a clause specifically about contact with former romantic partners. If Zayden finds out, she loses everything. But she's been in Dubai for 5 months, and she hasn't had a real conversation with anyone her own age. Zayden treats her like a possession. His friends' wives won't speak to her because she's Filipina, temporary, beneath them. Her agency contacts check in once a month to make sure she's fulfilling contract terms. That's it. She's isolated, lonely, and Ricardo's text feels like oxygen. She types, "Starbucks, Marina Walk, tomorrow at 3 p.m. They meet on June 2nd, 2022. Eloan arrives first, wearing oversized sunglasses and a headscarf even though she's not Muslim yet. She's trying to be inconspicuous. Ricardo walks in 7 minutes later. He's wearing the same clothes he used to wear in Cebu, jeans and a faded polo shirt. But he's leaner now, darker from working construction in the sun. The moment they see each other, everything comes back. The years of history, the comfort, the fact that Ricardo knew her before she became a transaction. They sit. "Order coffee. Don't touch." "Not yet." "You look different," Ricardo says. "Different how?" "Expensive." Eloan glances down at her designer handbag. The ring she's turned inward on her finger, so the diamond doesn't show. "I am expensive now. Are you happy?" Eloan doesn't answer right away. She stirs her coffee. Finally, "I'm doing what I have to do." "That's not what I asked." She looks at him, really looks at him, and for the first time in months, she feels like herself. Not Zayden's project. Not the agency's product. Just Eloan. "No," she whispers. "I'm not happy." Ricardo reaches across the table, takes her hand. "Then leave." "I can't. I signed a contract. If I break it, I owe him $1 million I don't have. My family already spent some of the money. If I leave, they lose everything. So you're trapped." "I'm committed." She pulls her hand back. "There's a difference." But even as she says it, she knows it's a lie. They meet again 4 days later. Then a week after that. Coffee turns into lunch. Lunch turns into longer conversations. Longer conversations turn into Ricardo saying, on June 18th, 2022, "I got paid. I have money. We could get a hotel room, just to talk somewhere private. Aloan knows what he's really asking. She should say no. She says yes. They check into the Ritz-Carlton Jumeirah Beach on June 18, 2022. At 4:47 p.m., Ricardo pays cash for the room. 850 dirhams, about $230, nearly a third of his monthly salary. Room 1847, 18th floor, ocean view. Aloan walks in first. Ricardo follows. The door closes behind them. For 11 seconds, they just stand there. Then Aloan starts crying. Not sad crying. Relief crying. Like she's been holding her breath for 6 months and finally gets to exhale. Ricardo holds her. You don't have to do this. I want to. Are you sure? She kisses him instead of answering. What happens in that hotel room over the next 2 hours and 31 minutes is the beginning of the end. Not just because of the physical act, though that matters, but because Aloan makes a decision in room 1847 that she can have both. Zayden's money and Ricardo's love. The contract and the affair. The security and the passion. She convinces herself she's smart enough to manage it. She's not. Between June 18th and mid-August 2022, Aloan and Ricardo meet 23 times. Hotel rooms, mostly. Different locations each time. Ritz-Carlton, Atlantis, JW Marriott. Address Dubai Marina. They're careful. Always cash. Never the same hotel twice in a row. They delete WhatsApp messages after every conversation. No photos. No social media check-ins. They think they're invisible. But in Dubai, nothing is invisible. Not if someone is looking. And by late July, Zayden is looking. Starts small. On July 22, 2022, Zayden notices Aloan is distracted. He's talking about the wedding, planned for December, and she's staring at her phone. He asks her a question. She doesn't hear him. He repeats himself. She startles, apologizes, puts the phone down. Who are you texting? He asks. My mother. Aloan lies smoothly. She's asking about wedding details. Zayden doesn't push. But he notices. On August 3, 2022, Aloan tells Zayden she has a spa appointment. She'll be gone for 3 hours. Zayden says fine. But after she leaves, he checks the credit card he gave her for personal expenses. No spa charges. He calls the spa she mentioned. No appointment under her name. He doesn't confront her. Not yet. But he starts paying attention. On August 9, 2022, Aloan comes home at 7:30 p.m. She's supposed to be back by 6 p.m. Zayden asks where she was. She says shopping. He asks what she bought. She hesitates for 2 seconds too long before saying she didn't find anything she liked. Zayden doesn't believe her, but he still doesn't confront her. Instead, on August 11, 2022, he calls a private investigation firm called Sentinel Security Consultants. They specialize in discreet surveillance for high-net-worth individuals, marital infidelity investigations, employee background checks, asset tracking. The consultation is 30 minutes. Zayden provides Aloan's photo, phone number, vehicle description, daily routine. I need to know where she goes, who she meets, everything. The investigator, a British expat named Colin Davies, nods. We'll have a preliminary report in 2 weeks. I want it in 1. Colin looks at Zayden's expression. 1 week. Understood. For the next 7 days, Aloan Santiago is followed everywhere. Professional surveillance. 2-person teams rotating shifts. Long-range cameras. GPS tracker on her car. Colin's team documents everything. August 12, 3:47 p.m. Subject meets unidentified male at Costa Coffee. Marina Walk. Conversation lasts 34 minutes. Physical contact observed. Hand-holding. Subject leans close to male during conversation. August 15th, 2:15 p.m. Subject and same male check into address Dubai Marina Hotel. Room 2109. Duration: 2 hours 18 minutes. Photos attached. August 17th, 5:53 p.m. Subject meets male at Jumeirah Beach residence parking lot. They sit in her car for 41 minutes. Intimate physical contact observed through vehicle window. On August 18, 2022, Colin Davies delivers the report to Zayden in person. It's 37 pages. Photographs, timestamps, license plate of Ricardo's employer vehicle. Everything. Zayden sits in his study and reads every page twice. He doesn't show emotion. He doesn't raise his voice. He just absorbs the information. Then he tells Colin, I need his full identity, name, passport number, employer, visa status, everything. Colin nods. That will take 3 days. You have 2. 2 days later, Zayden has a complete dossier on Ricardo Emmanuel Delgado. Born May 22, 1994, Talisi City, Cebu, Philippines. Current employer, Gulf Construction Limited. Visa expires May 2024. Criminal record, none. Known associates, 12 other Filipino construction workers in shared housing. And then the critical detail, previous relationship with Aloan Santiago. Confirmed through social media deep dive showing photos together in Cebu from 2015 to 2021. This isn't a random affair. This is her ex-boyfriend. This is the man she was with before she signed a virginity contract. This is the man she claimed not to have contact with anymore. Zayden sits with this information for 6 days. He doesn't confront Aloan. He doesn't let on that he knows. He continues their routine. Dinners, conversation, wedding planning. He's waiting for the right moment. That moment comes on August 29, 2022, when Aloan tells him she feels nauseous. She's been tired. Her period is late. I think I might be pregnant, she says. Zayden's face lights up. Genuine joy. This is what he's wanted. A son. An heir. Proof that his $4 million investment was worth it. We'll get you tested tomorrow, he says, pulling her into an embrace. Aloan hugs him back. And over his shoulder, her expression is not joy. It's terror. Because she has no idea if this baby is Zayden's or Ricardo's. Aloan takes 3 pregnancy tests in the bathroom of her apartment on August 30, 2022, before going to the doctor. All 3 are positive. She sits on the bathroom floor and does the math in her head. Her last period was July 28. She slept with Zayden on August 10th. She slept with Ricardo on August 12th, 15th, and 17th. The conception window could be any of those dates. She calls Ricardo from the bathroom. He picks up on the second ring. I'm pregnant, she whispers. Silence. Then, is it mine? I don't know. What do you mean you don't know? I've been with both of you. The timing is close. I don't know. Ricardo's voice rises. Aloan, what the fuck? What are we going to do? I don't know. Let me think. If it's mine and the DNA test shows. I know. She's crying now. Just let me think. She hangs up, washes her face, reapplies makeup, goes to meet Zayden at the clinic. Dr. Samira Hassan at City Medical confirms the pregnancy on August 31, 2022, at 10:15 a.m., approximately 4 weeks along. Due date, late April 2023. Healthy hormone levels. Everything looks good. Congratulations. Zayden is overjoyed. He takes Aloan to dinner at Pier Sheikh. Orders champagne though she can't drink. Toasts to their future son. He's already decided it's a boy. Already chosen the name, Khalid, after the son he lost. Aloan smiles, says thank you, plays the role. But that night, she texts Ricardo, we need a plan. The contract requires DNA testing. He'll know. Ricardo responds, can you fake the results? How? I don't know. Pay someone? Use my blood sample? That's insane. You have a better idea? Aloan doesn't. So over the next 3 weeks, she and Ricardo research options. They find a medical technician in Sharjah who, for $15,000, claims he can alter DNA results. They find a clinic in Thailand that offers fertility consultation, but is really a front for falsifying paternity documents. They consider fleeing Dubai entirely, breaking the contract, dealing with the financial consequences later. But every option is either illegal, impossibly expensive, or ends with Eloan's family losing everything. So Eloan makes a different decision. She convinces herself that the baby is Zayden's. She has to be. The timing makes sense if she counts from August 10th. The math works. Probably. Maybe. It has to. On September 19th, 2022, Eloan stops responding to Ricardo's messages about falsifying results. She tells him, "I think it's Zayden's. The dates line up. We'll be fine." Ricardo doesn't agree. "You're gambling with both our lives." "I'm doing what I have to do. Trust me." But Ricardo doesn't trust her. And he's terrified. So he does what desperate men do, he backs away. Stops initiating contact. Stops pushing for hotel meetings. By early October, they've stopped seeing each other entirely. Eloan tells herself this is good. Safer. Less risk. She focuses on the pregnancy. On Zayden. On playing the perfect fiancé. And for 3 months it works. Zayden is attentive. Protective. He hires a private obstetrician. Buys prenatal vitamins imported from Switzerland. Sets up a nursery in the penthouse with custom furniture from Italy. He treats Eloan like fragile, precious cargo. The wedding is postponed until after the birth. Zayden wants to wait until Eloan's body has recovered. He's planning something grand. 800 guests. Burj Al Arab venue. Fireworks over the palm. Everything is perfect. Until December 15th, 2022. That's the day Zayden's attorney, Mohammed Al-Qasimi, reminds him about the contract clause. Mandatory DNA paternity testing for all pregnancies. To be conducted during second trimester. It's standard procedure, Mohammed says. Just a formality. Zayden agrees. Of course. It's in the contract. Eloan signed it. There's no reason to suspect anything. Except Zayden does suspect something. He's suspected since August when he received Colin Davies' surveillance report. He's known about Ricardo. He's known about the hotels, the affair, the lies. He just hasn't confronted Eloan yet. Because he's been waiting for this. The DNA test. Proof. On January 9th, 2023, at 14 weeks pregnant, Eloan undergoes non-invasive prenatal paternity testing at Emirates Medical Center. It's a simple blood draw. The test analyzes cell-free fetal DNA in the mother's bloodstream and compares it to the alleged father's DNA. Accuracy, 99.9%. Results, 7 to 10 business days. Eloan sits in the clinic chair while the nurse draws her blood. Zayden is in the room with her, holding her hand, smiling. Just a formality, he says. Nothing to worry about. Eloan nods, but her hands are shaking. The nurse asks Zayden for a cheek swab. He complies. The samples are labeled, sealed, sent to the lab. 10 days later, on January 19th, 2023, the results arrive. Mohammed Al-Qasimi opens the email first. He's Zayden's attorney, copied on all medical correspondence per the contract. He reads the report twice. Then he picks up the phone. Sheikh Zayden, we need to meet. In person. Now. Zayden arrives at Mohammed's office at 3:47 p.m. Mohammed slides the printed report across his desk without saying anything. Zayden reads it. Non-invasive prenatal paternity test results date. January 19th, 2023 mother. Eloan Marie Santiago alleged father. Zayden Khalid Almazroui fetus. Male, 16 weeks gestational age. Result. Excluded probability of paternity. 0% conclusion. Zayden Khalid Almazroui is not the biological father of the tested fetus. Zayden reads it 3 times. His face doesn't change. His hands don't shake. He just sits there, staring at the words. Mohammed waits. Finally asks, "What do you want to do?" Zayden folds the paper carefully. Puts it in his jacket pocket. Stands. "I want to know who the father is. That will require additional testing and investigation." "No, it won't." Zayden's voice is calm. Terrifyingly calm. "I already know who it is." He leaves Mohammed's office and drives directly to Sentinel Security. Colin Davies is waiting. "I need Ricardo Delgado's DNA," Zayden says. Colin blinks. "That's complicated. We'd need a court order or..." I don't care how you get it. Cigarette butt. Coffee cup. I need his DNA tested against the fetus. I need confirmation. Colin nods slowly. This is going to take time. You have 48 hours. Takes Colin's team 31 hours. They follow Ricardo to a construction site in Business Bay. Wait for his lunch break. Retrieve a water bottle he discards. The sample is sent to a private lab with express processing. On January 21, 2023, at 11:22 a.m., Colin delivers the second DNA report to Zayden. DNA paternity analysis comparison. Fetal DNA from maternal blood sample versus DNA sample number 2, Ricardo Emmanuel Delgado. Result: not excluded probability of paternity. 99.97% conclusion. Ricardo Emmanuel Delgado is the biological father of the tested fetus. Zayden sits in his penthouse study and reads both reports side by side. The exclusion, the inclusion, the absolute proof that Eloane lied about everything. She lied about being a virgin. She lied about the affair. She lied about the pregnancy. She's been planning to pass off another man's child as Zayden's heir. For 3 days, Zayden doesn't confront her. He continues the routine. Dinners. Conversation. He asks about her prenatal appointments. Discusses baby names. Acts like nothing is wrong. But inside, he's planning. On January 24, 2023, Zayden calls his attorney. I want her charged with fraud. Criminal fraud. I want every dirham back. I want her deported. I want her in prison. Mohammed hesitates. Sheikh Zayden, with respect, a criminal case will be public. Embarrassing. Everyone will know you were deceived. I don't care. There's another option. Under UAE law, you have other remedies, especially in cases of proven adultery during engagement. Zayden knows what Mohammed is implying. Under certain interpretations of Sharia law, applied in some UAE personal status courts, a man can claim extreme provocation. In cases of sexual betrayal, particularly when contractual fraud is involved. It's not a license to kill, but it is a mitigating factor. It can reduce sentences, turn murder into manslaughter, turn life imprisonment into 15, 20, 25 years. Zayden doesn't respond to Mohammed's implication. He just says, I'll handle it. On June 18, 2023, 5 months after receiving the DNA results, Zayden is still handling it. He hasn't confronted Eloane. She's now 7 months pregnant. Her belly is large. She waddles when she walks. She talks about the baby constantly. What color to paint the nursery. What brand of stroller to buy. She has no idea Zayden knows. But on June 18th, Zayden decides it's time. He calls his private investigator one last time. I need footage. Every hotel they visited. Every meeting. Every moment. I want a timeline of the entire affair. Colin delivers 47 minutes of compiled surveillance footage. Hotel lobbies, parking lots, elevator cameras, the Ritz-Carlton, Atlantis, Address Marina, all of it. Zayden spends June 18, 2023, from 1:43 a.m. to 3:27 a.m. watching every second. He watches Eloane hold Ricardo's hand, watches them kiss in elevators, watches them check into rooms together, watches them emerge hours later, clothes wrinkled, smiling. He watches the woman he paid $4 million for betray him 23 separate times. By 3:30 a.m., Zayden has made his decision. He spends the next 4 days preparing. He reviews the contract, reviews UAE personal status law, reviews sentencing guidelines for crimes of passion. He consults with 3 different attorneys off the record. He asks hypothetical questions. What if? Suppose. Theoretically. They all tell him the same thing, don't. But Zayden doesn't care about their advice. On June 22, 2023, at 11:34 p.m., Eloane enters the bedroom wearing her silk robe. She's humming, peaceful, 7 months pregnant with Ricardo's child. Zayden enters at 11:35 p.m. holding the DNA reports. And for the next 6 minutes and 42 seconds, everything Zayden has been planning for 5 months comes to fruition. When police arrive at 11:54 p.m., Zayden is sitting calmly beside Eloan's body. He tells them exactly what he did. Shows them the footage. Hands over the DNA results. She committed fraud, he says. She lied about everything. She was carrying another man's bastard and planning to make me raise it as my son. The officers look at each other. Look at Eloan's body. Look at Zayden's complete calm. Sir, you're under arrest for murder. Zayden nods. I know. He doesn't resist. Doesn't argue. He puts his hands out for the cuffs. Because Zayden Al-Mazrouei believes he didn't commit murder. He believes he executed justice. The call comes into Dubai Police Emergency Dispatch at 11:47 p.m. on June 22, 2023. The operator screen shows the caller's location immediately. Penthouse 4701, Marina Heights Tower. Registered owner, Zayden Khalid Al-Mazrouei. The operator answers in Arabic. Emergency services. What is your emergency? The voice on the other end is male. Calm. Speaking Arabic with perfect formal grammar. I need police and ambulance at Marina Heights Tower, Penthouse 4701. I have killed my fiancé. The operator's training kicks in. Stay calm. Get details. Keep him talking. Sir, can you tell me what happened? She committed fraud. I confronted her. She's dead. I'm waiting here. Sir, is anyone else in the apartment with you? No. Just me and the body. Are you injured? No. Sir, I need you to stay on the line with me. Officers are being dispatched now. Do not leave the apartment. Do not touch anything. I won't. I'm sitting on the bed. I'll wait. The line stays open. The operator can hear breathing. Steady. Controlled. No panic. No crying. Just waiting. Dubai Police Criminal Investigation Department receives the dispatch at 11:49 p.m. Major Crimes Unit. Possible homicide. High-profile location. Sheikh Zayden Al-Mazrouei involved. Detective Rashid Al-Mansouri is the senior investigator on call. He's 41 years old. 20 years with Dubai Police. He's seen everything. Domestic violence. Honor killings. Drug murders. Expatriate crimes. But when he sees the address and the name, he knows this one will be different. Get everyone, he tells his team. Forensics. Medical examiner. I want a full response. And call the prosecutor's office. They'll want to know about this immediately. Police arrive at Marina Heights Tower at 11:54 p.m. 6 officers. 2 vehicles. They take the express elevator to the 47th floor. The penthouse door is unlocked. They enter with weapons drawn. Dubai Police. Show yourself. Zayden's voice comes from the bedroom. I'm in here. I'm unarmed. I'm sitting on the bed. They find him exactly where he said he'd be. Sitting on the edge of a king-sized bed. 3 feet away from Eloan Santiago's body. She's lying on the floor between the bed and the vanity. Silk robe. Eyes open. Bruising visible on her neck. Very clearly dead. Zayden's hands are folded in his lap. He looks up at the officers. I did it. She committed fraud. I have proof. The lead officer, Sergeant Mahmoud Khalil, has been on the force for 12 years. He's arrested hundreds of people. He's never had someone confess this calmly. Sir, I need you to stand up slowly and put your hands behind your back. Zayden complies. Stands. Turns. Offers his wrists. The handcuffs click into place. Zayden Khalid Al-Mazrouei, you are under arrest for murder. You have the right to remain silent. You have the right to an attorney. Anything you say can be used against you in court. I understand, Zayden says. I want to make a full statement. I have evidence. Video footage. DNA test results. Everything you need is in my study. I'll show you. Sergeant Khalil exchanges a glance with his partner. This is not how murder suspects usually act. Sir, we'll get to that. Right now, you're coming with us. They escort Zayden out of the bedroom. As they pass through the living room, Zayden says, the security system recorded everything. Check the bedroom camera. It's all there. At 12:03 a.m., Ricardo Delgado is lying on his bunk in the Sonipur labor camp, scrolling through his phone. He hasn't heard from Eloan in 3 days. He's tried calling, tried texting. Nothing. He knows something is wrong. He can feel it. His phone buzzes. Not a call. A news alert. Breaking. Woman found dead in Dubai Marina penthouse. Sheikh Zayden Al-Mazrouei in custody. Ricardo sits up so fast he hits his head on the bunk above him. He clicks the article. There's no photo. No name. Just, Dubai police confirm they are investigating a death at a luxury penthouse in Dubai Marina. A prominent Emirati businessman has been detained for questioning. More details to follow. Ricardo's hands start shaking. He calls Eloan. Straight to voicemail. He calls again. Same. He opens WhatsApp. Types, Eloan, please tell me you're okay. 1 gray check mark. Message sent. Not delivered. He tries one more time. Eloan, please. Still not delivered. Ricardo knows. He doesn't need confirmation. He knows. He gets out of bed. His roommates are sleeping. He grabs his backpack. Stuffs his clothes inside. His passport. The 4,300 dirhams he has saved. He doesn't have a plan. He just knows he needs to leave. At 12:47 a.m., Ricardo is in a taxi heading to Dubai International Airport. The driver asks where he's flying. Ricardo says Manila. The driver nods. Doesn't ask questions. At 1:15 a.m., Ricardo buys a one-way ticket to Manila on Philippine Airlines. Flight PA 8502. Departs 3:20 a.m. In cases of sexual betrayal, particularly when contractual fraud is involved, it's not a license to kill, but it is a mitigating factor. It can reduce sentences, turn murder into manslaughter, turn life imprisonment into 15, 20, 25 years. Zayden doesn't respond to Muhammad's implication. He just says, I'll handle it. On June 18, 2023, 5 months after receiving the DNA results, Zayden is still handling it. He hasn't confronted Eloan. She's now 7 months pregnant. Her belly is large. She waddles when she walks. She talks about the baby constantly. What color to paint the nursery. What brand of stroller to buy. She has no idea Zayden knows. But on June 18th, Zayden decides it's time. He calls his private investigator one last time. I need footage. Every hotel they visited. Every meeting. Every moment. I want a timeline of the entire affair. Colin delivers 47 minutes of compiled surveillance footage. Hotel lobbies, parking lots, elevator cameras, the Ritz-Carlton, Atlantis, Address Marina, all of it. Zayden spends June 18, 2023, from 1:43 a.m. to 3:27 a.m. watching every second. He watches Eloan hold Ricardo's hand, watches them kiss in elevators, watches them check into rooms together, watches them emerge hours later, clothes wrinkled, smiling. He watches the woman he paid $4 million for betray him 23 separate times. By 3:30 a.m., Zayden has made his decision. He spends the next 4 days preparing. He reviews the contract, reviews UAE personal status law, reviews sentencing guidelines for crimes of passion. He consults with 3 different attorneys off the record. He asks hypothetical questions. What if? Suppose. Theoretically. They all tell him the same thing, don't. But Zayden doesn't care about their advice. On June 22, 2023, at 11:34 p.m., Eloan enters the bedroom wearing her silk robe. She's humming. Peaceful. 7 months pregnant with Ricardo's child. Zayden enters at 11:35 p.m. holding the DNA reports. And for the next 6 minutes and 42 seconds, everything Zayden has been planning for 5 months comes to fruition. When police arrive at 11:54 p.m., Zayden is sitting calmly beside Eloan's body. He tells them exactly what he did, shows them the footage, hands over the DNA results. She committed fraud, he says. She lied about everything. She was carrying another man's bastard and planning to make me raise it as my son. The officers look at each other. Look at Eloan's body. Look at Zayden's complete calm. Sir, you're under arrest for murder. Zayden nods. I know. He doesn't resist. Doesn't argue. He puts his hands out for the cuffs. Because Zayden Al-Mazrouei believes he didn't commit murder. He believes he executed justice. The call comes into Dubai Police Emergency Dispatch at 11:47 p.m. on June 22, 2023. The operator screen shows the caller's location immediately. Penthouse 4701, Marina Heights Tower. Registered owner, Zayden Khalid Al-Mazrouei. The operator answers in Arabic. Emergency services. What is your emergency? The voice on the other end is male. Calm. Speaking Arabic with perfect formal grammar. I need police and ambulance at Marina Heights Tower, Penthouse 4701. I have killed my fiancé. The operator's training kicks in. Stay calm. Get details. Keep him talking. Sir, can you tell me what happened? She committed fraud. I confronted her. She's dead. I'm waiting here. Sir, is anyone else in the apartment with you? No. Just me and the body. Are you injured? No. Sir, I need you to stay on the line with me. Officers are being dispatched now. Do not leave the apartment. Do not touch anything. I won't. I'm sitting on the bed. I'll wait. The line stays open. The operator can hear breathing. Steady. Controlled. No panic. No crying. Just waiting. Dubai Police Criminal Investigation Department receives the dispatch at 11:49 p.m. Major Crimes Unit. Possible homicide. High-profile location. Sheikh Zayden Al-Mazrouei involved. Detective Rashid Al-Mansouri is the senior investigator on call. He's 41 years old. 20 years with Dubai Police. He's seen everything. Domestic violence. Honor killings. Drug murders. Expatriate crimes. But when he sees the address and the name, he knows this one will be different. Get everyone, he tells his team. Forensics. Medical examiner. I want a full response. And call the prosecutor's office. They'll want to know about this immediately. Police arrive at Marina Heights Tower at 11:54 p.m. 6 officers. 2 vehicles. They take the express elevator to the 47th floor. The penthouse door is unlocked. They enter with weapons drawn. Dubai Police. Show yourself. Zayden's voice comes from the bedroom. I'm in here. I'm unarmed. I'm sitting on the bed. They find him exactly where he said he'd be. Sitting on the edge of a king-sized bed. 3 feet away from Eloan Santiago's body. She's lying on the floor between the bed and the vanity. Silk robe. Eyes open. Bruising visible on her neck. Very clearly dead. Zayden's hands are folded in his lap. He looks up at the officers. I did it. She committed fraud. I have proof. The lead officer, Sergeant Mahmoud Khalil, has been on the force for 12 years. He's arrested hundreds of people. He's never had someone confess this calmly. Sir, I need you to stand up slowly and put your hands behind your back. Zayden complies. Stands. Turns. Offers his wrists. The handcuffs click into place. Zayden Khalid Al-Mazrouei, you are under arrest for murder. You have the right to remain silent. You have the right to an attorney. Anything you say can be used against you in court. I understand, Zayden says. I want to make a full statement. I have evidence. Video footage. DNA test results. Everything you need is in my study. I'll show you. Sergeant Khalil exchanges a glance with his partner. This is not how murder suspects usually act. Sir, we'll get to that. Right now, you're coming with us. They escort Zayden out of the bedroom. As they pass through the living room, Zayden says, the security system recorded everything. Check the bedroom camera. It's all there. At 12:03 a.m., Ricardo Delgado is lying on his bunk in the Sonipur labor camp, scrolling through his phone. He hasn't heard from Eloan in 3 days. He's tried calling, tried texting. Nothing. He knows something is wrong. He can feel it. His phone buzzes. Not a call. A news alert. Breaking. Woman found dead in Dubai Marina penthouse. Sheikh Zayden Al-Mazrouei in custody. Ricardo sits up so fast he hits his head on the bunk above him. He clicks the article. There's no photo. No name. Just, Dubai police confirm they are investigating a death at a luxury penthouse in Dubai Marina. A prominent Emirati businessman has been detained for questioning. More details to follow. Ricardo's hands start shaking. He calls Eloan. Straight to voicemail. He calls again. Same. He opens WhatsApp. Types, "Eloan, please tell me you're okay." One gray check mark. Message sent. Not delivered. He tries one more time. "Eloan, please." Still not delivered. Ricardo knows. He doesn't need confirmation. He knows. He gets out of bed. His roommates are sleeping. He grabs his backpack. Stuffs his clothes inside. His passport. The 4,300 dirhams he has saved. He doesn't have a plan. He just knows he needs to leave. At 12:47 a.m., Ricardo is in a taxi heading to Dubai International Airport. The driver asks where he's flying. Ricardo says Manila. The driver nods. Doesn't ask questions. At 1:15 a.m., Ricardo buys a one-way ticket to Manila on Philippine Airlines. Flight PA 8502. Departs 3:20 a.m. Arrives Manila 8:45 a.m. local time. Costs 1,850 dirhams. Nearly half his savings. He pays cash. Goes through security. Sits at the gate with his head in his hands. At 3:20 a.m., Ricardo boards the flight. Finds his seat. Window 32A. He watches Dubai disappear beneath the clouds. He will never come back. Detective Rashid Al-Mansouri arrives at Marina Heights Tower at 12:18 a.m. The forensics team is already inside. Photographer is documenting the scene. Medical examiner is examining the body. "So you confronted her tonight?" "Yes. At approximately 11:35 p.m. I showed her the evidence. The DNA results. The surveillance footage of her affair. She denied it at first. Then she admitted it. Then she tried to leave. And you stopped her?" "Yes." "How?" "I grabbed her arm. She fell. Hit her head on the bed frame. Then I strangled her." Rashid waits. Zayden continues without prompting. "It took approximately 3 minutes. She struggled. Tried to fight back. But I didn't stop. When she stopped breathing, I released her. Then I called police." "Why did you kill her, Sheikh Zayden?" Zayden looks directly at Rashid. "Because she stole from me. She committed fraud. Under our contract, under Islamic law, under any reasonable interpretation of justice, she deserved punishment." "You believe murder is appropriate punishment for fraud?" "I believe a woman who sells herself as pure, accepts $4 million, carries another man's child, and plans to deceive me into raising a bastard as my son has forfeited her right to protection under law." Rashid keeps his expression neutral. "Did you plan to kill her? Or was this spontaneous?" Zayden pauses for the first time. "I've been considering my options since January. Tonight I made my decision." "So you planned it?" "I considered it. Yes." "For 5 months?" "Yes." "And you recorded the murder on your own security camera?" "Yes. I wanted documentation. I wanted proof of what she did and what I did in response." Rashid sits back. In 20 years, he's never had a suspect be this forthcoming. Most deny. Blame the victim. Claim accident or self-defense. Zayden is confessing to premeditated murder and offering evidence. "Sheikh Zayden, do you understand you're confessing to killing a pregnant woman?" "I'm confessing to executing a fraudulent contract. The pregnancy is irrelevant. That child was not mine. It had no legitimate claim to my name or my wealth. The child was alive. That's 2 deaths." Zayden's expression doesn't change. "Legally, perhaps. Morally, no. That child was the product of deception. It died because its mother was a liar." Rashid ends the interview at 3:47 a.m. He has everything he needs. Confession, motive, evidence. This should be a straightforward prosecution. But he knows it won't be. At 6:15 a.m., Eloan's mother, Carmela Santiago, receives a phone call from the Philippine embassy in Dubai. The voice on the other end is gentle. Prepared for this conversation. "Mrs. Santiago, I'm calling about your daughter, Eloan. I'm very sorry to inform you that she passed away last night in Dubai." Carmela doesn't understand at first. Passed away? What do you mean? She's pregnant. She was healthy. What happened? Mrs. Santiago, your daughter was killed. The man she was engaged to has been arrested. I'm so sorry. We're working with Dubai police to get more information. Carmela drops the phone. Her screams wake up the entire house. At 7:32 a.m., the story breaks on Gulf News. Dubai businessman arrested for murder of pregnant fiancée. Within an hour, it's on every news outlet in UAE. By 9 a.m., it's international. CNN, BBC, Al Jazeera. The story has everything. Wealth, beauty, betrayal, murder. The details emerge slowly. The $4 million contract. The virginity requirement. The DNA test. The affair. The double murder. Social media explodes. Twitter, Instagram, Facebook. Everyone has an opinion. Some defend Zayden. She committed fraud. She lied about everything. He was betrayed. Under Sharia law, adultery has consequences. She knew what she was signing. Others are horrified. He murdered a pregnant woman in cold blood. No contract justifies murder. This is femicide. She's a victim of a system that treats women as property. The debate rages for days, weeks, months. But while the world argues about justice and morality and women's rights and cultural context, three things are undeniable. Eloane Santiago is dead. Her unborn son is dead. And Zayden Al-Mazroui confessed to killing them both. At 4:22 p.m. on June 23, 2023, Philippine Airlines Flight PA 8502 lands in Manila. Ricardo Delgado clears immigration. Takes a bus to the domestic terminal. Buys a ticket to Cebu. Pays cash. Doesn't use his credit card. Doesn't use his phone. By 9 p.m. he's back in Tbilisi City. Back in the neighborhood where he grew up. Where Eloane grew up. He goes to his mother's house. She's shocked to see him. Ricardo, what are you doing here? Your contract isn't finished. Mama, I can't explain. I need to stay here for a while. Don't tell anyone I'm back. His mother sees something in his eyes. Fear. Guilt. She doesn't ask questions. Ricardo stays inside for 3 days. Doesn't leave the house. Watches Philippine news. It takes 2 days for Eloane's story to reach local media. Filipina model killed by Dubai fiancé. Contractual marriage ends in double murder. The photo they use is from Eloane's Instagram. She's smiling. Beautiful. Alive. Ricardo reads every article. Learns details he didn't know. The DNA test. Zayden's 5-month plan. The security footage. His own name mentioned as the biological father and ex-boyfriend involved in affair. Dubai police issue a warrant for his arrest as accessory to fraud. Interpol is notified, but Ricardo is already gone. Disappeared into the Philippine provinces where paperwork doesn't reach and questions aren't asked. He will never face charges. He will never testify. He will never tell his side of the story. He will live the rest of his life knowing that his child died because he and Eloane thought they could outsmart a billionaire. At 11 a.m. on June 24, 2023, Eloane Santiago's body is released to the Philippine embassy. Her mother, Carmela, flies to Dubai with her son, Eloane's younger brother Marco. They identify the body at the medical examiner's office. Carmela looks at her daughter's face. The bruises on her throat. The stillness. She doesn't cry. She's past crying. She just touches Eloane's hand and whispers in Bisaya, "I'm sorry I couldn't protect you." The embassy arranges transport. Eloane's body is flown back to Cebu on June 26. The casket is white. Closed. No viewing. The bruises are too severe. The family doesn't want people to remember her that way. The funeral is June 29, 2023. St. Catherine of Alexandria Parish Church. 300 people attend. Friends from high school. The families she and her mother used to work for. Models from the Cebu agency. Everyone who knew Eloane before Dubai. Before the contract. Before everything went wrong. The priest gives a homily about forgiveness and God's mercy. But when he says, "Eloane is in heaven now at peace," Carmela stands up and walks out, because her daughter is not at peace. Her daughter is dead in a white casket with her unborn son, killed by a man who believed he owned her. The burial is at Angelicum Garden of Paradise Memorial Park. Plot 447. Carmela pays for it with money Eloan sent home. The headstone is simple. White marble. Eloan Marie Santiago. April 3, 1996 to June 22, 2023. Beloved daughter, sister, friend. She dreamed of saving U.S. Cost her everything. And beneath that, smaller, and her unborn son. The trial of Zayden Khalid Al-Mazrouei begins on September 18, 2023, at Dubai Criminal Court. The charges are first-degree murder and fetal murder. If convicted on both counts, Zayden faces life imprisonment or, theoretically, death penalty under UAE law. The courtroom is packed. International media, local reporters, legal observers, human rights groups. The case has become a flashpoint. Feminists call it femicide. Conservative groups call it justified response to fraud. Everyone has an opinion. The prosecution is led by Chief Prosecutor Khalid Al-Zaraouni. He's 48 years old. He's prosecuted 87 murder cases, won 81 convictions. He's never lost a case with a full confession. But he knows this one is different. The defense is led by Rashid Al-Hakim, one of Dubai's most expensive criminal attorneys. His fee for this case, 4 million dirhams, approximately $1.1 million USD. Zayden's family is paying. Judge Hamad Al-Shamsi presides. He's 56 years old, 28 years on the bench. He's known for strict interpretations of law but also for fairness. He will need both for this case. The trial is conducted in Arabic. Translators provided for international media. Opening statements begin at 9:15 a.m. Prosecutor Al-Zaraouni stands. Your Honor, this is a case about a man who believed he had the right to take a life because a woman lied to him. Zayden Al-Mazrouei did not act in self-defense. He did not act in passion. He planned for 5 months how to punish Eloan Santiago for breaking their contract. And on June 22, 2023, he executed that plan. He strangled a 7-month pregnant woman to death. He killed her unborn child. He recorded it on his security camera. He called police and confessed. There is no dispute about what happened. The only question is whether this court will allow wealth and contract law to excuse murder. I will prove that no contract, no matter how detailed, no fraud, no matter how offensive, justifies taking a life. Zayden Al-Mazrouei is a murderer, and he should spend the rest of his life in prison. Defense attorney Al-Hakim stands. Your Honor, this is a case about fraud. Fraud on a massive scale. Eloan Santiago entered into a contract with my client. She agreed to medical verification of virginity. She agreed to DNA paternity testing. She agreed to exclusivity. In exchange, she received $1 million immediately and was promised $3 million more. But everything she promised was a lie. She was not a virgin. She was having an affair throughout the engagement. She became pregnant with another man's child and planned to deceive my client into believing it was his. Under UAE law, under Islamic law, under the terms of their legal contract, she committed fraud and adultery. Now, my client should not have taken the law into his own hands. We are not arguing innocence, but we are arguing that the circumstances of this case constitute extreme provocation. That Eloan Santiago's actions directly caused my client to lose control. That a man who has been systematically deceived and humiliated has diminished culpability. We ask the court to consider the totality of circumstances and impose a sentence that reflects the reality that there are two victims in this case. The woman who died and the man whose life she destroyed. The trial lasts 11 days. The prosecution presents the security footage. The courtroom watches in silence as Zayden strangles Eloan. Several people walk out. One journalist vomits in the hallway. The medical examiner testifies. Cause of death was asphyxiation due to manual strangulation. The victim fought back. There are defensive wounds on her hands. Fingernails broken. The hyoid bone in her throat was fractured, indicating significant force. Death would have occurred within 3 to 5 minutes. The fetus died due to oxygen deprivation when the mother died. The prosecution presents Eloan's phone records. Text messages between her and Ricardo. "I miss you. When can we meet? The baby might be yours. We need to be more careful." They present the hotel records. 23 documented meetings. Credit card charges. Key card data showing when rooms were accessed and for how long. But the prosecution's case has a problem. Everything the defense claims is true. The defense asks, "If you could go back, what would you do differently?" "I would have pursued legal remedies instead. Filed criminal fraud charges. Let the courts punish her. But in the moment, I could not tolerate her lies anymore." Closing arguments are day 11. The prosecutor is passionate. "Members of this court, what you have witnessed is a man who believed he could purchase a woman, who believed a contract gave him ownership over her body, her choices, her life. When she violated that contract, he believed he had the right to kill her. This is not justice. This is not provocation. This is murder. Premeditated, cold-blooded murder." Zayden Al-Mazrouei strangled a pregnant woman for 3 minutes while she begged for her life. He killed her unborn child. He showed no mercy. He shows no remorse. And he should receive no leniency. Life imprisonment. Nothing less. The defense counters. "Your Honor, no one disputes that Sheikh Zayden killed Eloan Santiago. But the law recognizes that not all killings are equal. The law recognizes extreme provocation. The law recognizes that a person's mental state matters. Eloan Santiago entered into a binding contract. She lied about her virginity. She committed adultery. She attempted to commit paternity fraud. These are not minor offenses. These are profound betrayals. My client spent 5 months discovering the depth of her deception. The surveillance footage, the hotel meetings, the DNA test proving the child was not his. He confronted her with evidence. She denied it, then admitted it, then tried to flee. In that moment, after months of humiliation, he lost control. We ask the court to consider reduced charges. Manslaughter, with consideration for time served. My client has already lost everything. His reputation, his family's honor. Let justice be tempered with understanding. The verdict comes on September 29, 2023, at 2:15 p.m. Judge Al-Shamsi reads the decision in Arabic. Translation follows. The court finds Zayden Khalid Al-Mazrouei guilty of first-degree murder in the death of Eloan Marie Santiago. The court finds him guilty of fetal murder in the death of the unborn child. The evidence is clear. The confession is unambiguous. The defendant planned and executed the killing of a pregnant woman. However, the court acknowledges the circumstances of extreme provocation. The victim committed fraud. The victim violated a legal contract. The victim's actions caused the defendant significant emotional and financial harm. Under UAE Penal Code Article 334, a court may reduce sentences in cases of extreme provocation where the victim's actions directly contributed to the crime. Therefore, the court sentences Zayden Khalid Al-Mazrouei to 25 years imprisonment. No possibility of parole for the first 15 years. The courtroom erupts. Eloan's family, watching via video link from the Philippines, is screaming. 25 years? She's dead. Her baby is dead. 25 years. Human rights groups are outraged. Protests planned. #Justice for Eloan trends globally. Conservative groups call it fair. He was betrayed. She committed fraud. The sentence is appropriate. Zayden shows no reaction. He nods once. Accepts the sentence. Is led away in handcuffs. He will serve his time at Al-Awar Central Jail in a private cell. Because of his wealth and status, he'll have privileges. Books, prayer mat, visits from family, though his father refuses to see him. His mother visits once a month. Eloan's family receives nothing. The $1 million payment is legally reclaimed. The contract stated fraud voids all financial obligations. The courts agree. Carmela Santiago buries her daughter, loses the house they built with Eloan's money, returns to cleaning houses. She will never recover financially or emotionally. Ricardo Delgado remains in hiding in the Philippines. A warrant exists but is never enforced. He changes his name, moves to Mindanao, works odd jobs, never contacts Eloan's family, lives with guilt that will never leave him. This case becomes a landmark in UAE legal history, cited in law school, debated in ethics courses, referenced whenever contract marriages, extreme provocation, or femicide is discussed. And the question remains unanswered. Was justice served? 25 years for 2 lives. For a man who confessed, who showed no remorse, who believed murder was justified. Some say yes, some say never, but everyone agrees on one thing: Eloan Santiago should not have died.